Hello there, hi. So I guess you've heard about it already. Yes, I did. Alright. Anything wrong? You look nervous. Sorry, it's fine. You were saying? Well, it's one day off. Any idea where to go? Okay, here goes. Here goes. I don't think I should be the one to decide here. Don't you have a place in mind already? I do have some options. Your call. So I'll take her to karaoke box this time. Let's go to the karaoke box. Karaoke box? Where? No, what is that? You've never heard about it? Well then, it gives us all the more reason to go. It's not some dangerous place, is it? As healthy as a quadruped. Okay, sounds good. It is. I can't wait for you to try it. Alright, Neds. See you tomorrow then? Yeah, meet you at the crossroads. Okay, bye. Okay, perfect. Had a long sweet sleep on my first day off. It's been less than a month since I left the city, but it feels like forever ago. Time to leave. Yes, yes, I'm coming, I'm coming. Ugh. It's time. It's been some time, Mr. Crawford. Glad to know you've been doing great. Yeah, but I'm still waiting to see him break. That's the most interesting part of this job for me. Edgar. Sorry. Okay, so you ready, sir? Do I have to prepare anything? Not really. A heart to relax, maybe. And I just remember to be at the meeting point on time. The airship won't wait. Sure. Then come on, get on. Everyone's waiting. Yeah, we've picked up all the others already. You're the last. Come on. It's been a while since I last visited here. Can't see too many people on the streets. They must be lining up for food at the supply stations around this time. A girl standing across the road. It's her. Hey, you're here. Not gonna let you spend the precious time waiting, Ned. Appreciate it, but there's no need to hurry either, is it? Well, we only have about 5 hours, so it might be better that we start moving now. You're right, and thank God it's not raining. With the dust pollution rates today, it could have easily ruined the day. Agreed. So what's next? Let's go to the karaoke box first and then visit the care centre on our way back, shall we? Sounds nice. Alright then. Gotta say though, being out after living up there for weeks, even this normal street view seems a bit exciting. Like when we went out on our first school trip? Exactly. I walked with Elodie for half an hour. We were chatting about the old days at school, and I came to realise how long a time I had known her for. After a lot of turning and crossing, we arrived at an obscure district where I used to live with my parents. Ta-da! Here we are. This is the karaoke box. Yeah, the one and only in town. So what are we going to do with it? That's right, there's something we can do with it. Syncing. You mean song syncing? Bingo! It's a machine specifically designed for that purpose. Just for your information, song syncing is called karaoke in some countries. How did you even know such things? My mum told me. She read a lot of books from the old days, before they burned them all. Anyway, that's not the point today. Let's get inside. So, you good at syncing? I hate to spoil it, but I can't sync. Who says you have to be good at it to have fun? I can't sync either. So two people who can't sink came this long way to do this sinking machine to sink. That's interesting. Come on, it's a lot different with this. You'll be able to see what the next line is and even know when it begins. Really? So I don't have to know the song to sink? Better, you'll even learn the song for good. Okay, so how do we start? Just give me a second to start this baby. God, hope it's still working. Is this thing that old? Oh yes, it's probably older than me. It's here since I could remember as a kid. Isn't that strange? Why? If this machine is this awesome and special and old, why weren't there more people using or knowing it? I wanted the same thing before, but a good question is, how many people have the luxury to sink? Oh, it starts running. Okay, let me see. Yeah, it's still got all the songs, the Golden Collection. Let me see it. I don't know any of them. Of course, there are plenty old or from somewhere else. So which one are we gonna sing? There's one song too good that I always want to keep it to myself. But hey, it's a special day. So, I give you Musana. Oh, I see. Oh, whoops. Tahira, eat your heart out. Oh, was that it? Here, your go. Whoa, whoops. Okay. Don't seem to be able to do anything with these. Soundtrack in this game was actually pretty good. Do you think I'm meant to press space? No. Wow, I wouldn't say that equals to I can't sink. I don't know, maybe it's the magic of this machine. Another round? How about you? You bet. 30 minutes later. Ah, my throat's a little bit dry. Are you? Yeah, totally. It's fun, but you can't overdo it, Ned. Yeah, it's about time to leave for the care centre anyway. Alright, let's go buy something to drink. You must know what drink's good now. I'm a food inspector, not a food taster. Chuckle. I know. Take her to the mountaintop. Let's go to the mountaintop then. The mountain? Didn't expect that from you. Why? You never strike me as an outdoor person. But I'm not, but you know, after all these hours spent in a booth, smile. Right, about that. Actually, I think the mountain is now at its prime time for visitors. Really? Can't wait to see it. Alright, Ned. Guess I'll see you tomorrow then. Yeah, meet you at the crossroad. Okay, bye. So what's next? Let's go to the mountaintop first and then visit the care centre on our way back, shall we? Sounds nice. Alright then. Got to say though, being out after living up there for weeks, even this normal street view seems a bit exciting. Like when we went on our first school trip, exactly. I walked with LD for half an hour. We were chatting about the old days at school and I came to realise how long a time I had known her for. Before we know it, we are already on the quiet forest lane leading to the mountain top. Everything is half an hour away. Oh god, can you hear it? Hear what? The sound of cicada, Elodie. All around us. Oh, I didn't even notice. Haven't you been here recently? No, why would I? Was nothing here. I know, not even worms. The last time I came here, it was like 3 or 4 years ago. It was dead silence back then. Yeah, that's also how I remember. Does this mean the environment is actually getting better? It must be, isn't it? After all the things the government did, maybe soon there will be flowers again. Flowers. I wish I could see them with my own eyes one day. Don't you think they're amazing? Growing out from the soil all by themselves? Of course I do. I even thought, what if all food can also just grow out from the soil like that? That way, I'll lose my job for sure. Oh, sorry, just kidding. I mean, if that's possible, life would be a lot easier for all of us. And who doesn't want that? This one kind of ties in with the story a bit better, this date day. The rest are kind of random. Agreed, but that's just my stupid fantasy. Hey, you'll never know. Yeah. Come on, there's still a long way to go to the top. May still catch some great views if we move fast. Really? Yeah, but soon there'll be no proper lane ahead. Stay close. Whoa, what? This is the least fun game as well. I'm never good at sports, let alone having been living in that booth for weeks. Even so, the mountain climbing is still more exhausting than I thought. But when we reach the top, it all seems worth it. Gasping, we made it! Just in time maybe. Gasping, wow! It's been breathtaking, metaphorically and literally. Look at the fog. Chuckle. Indeed. Hey Ned. The day we graduated high school, the sunset was just as beautiful, and I remember seeing you just staring through the window on your seat when everyone else was leaving. What were you thinking? Same thing I'm thinking right now. What's that? What's on the other side of that mountain? That's really a typical Ned saying. Is it? What's Ned saying, by the way? Huh, you tell me. It's about time. We should leave while there's still some light. It'd be too dark to walk after that. Yeah, and we still have one more place to go. Come on. Oh my, the sun is setting far quicker than I thought. Can you see the way clearly? Yeah, somehow. If you can't, follow me close. Thanks, Ned. I think I got this. Okay, here we go. Right, everyone, so the final ending, well, the alternate ending, the bad ending, is if you don't hire the lawyer, apparently. And apparently if you don't help the revolution throughout, then you don't even get the option to call a lawyer. But we do, so we're gonna not. We're gonna defend ourselves. I'm good. I'll just do the defending myself. Are you sure? You've seen how it turned out for those two defendants, haven't you? Thanks, but I know what I'm doing. Well then, I'll see you after work tomorrow, like always. Just going to skip all of the work. We're just looking at the ending here. What surprised me most was that I wasn't. I knew this was coming to me. Even if it were not yesterday, I knew it would come sooner or later. And what difference will a lawyer make? It's time, Mr. Crawford. Are you ready for court? Sure. Okay, Mr. Crawford, I'm just going to confirm with you for the last time. Are you sure you don't need a lawyer? Yes, I'm sure. Alright then, please be seated. The trial will start in a minute. Good evening, dear citizens. Today we'll continue with the case of Food Inspector Ned Crawford. Concrete evidence will be provided and some witnesses will be present. Also, the Great Ones have decided to broadcast this trial live to the entire city. They think it's important to reaffirm our stand in safeguarding our people's interests. Okay, let's bring the defendant on the stage. Here I call Ned Crawford. Mr. Crawford, do you have a lawyer or are you going to defend yourself? I'm going to defend myself. Very well, let's get started then. As mentioned yesterday, we found that Mr. Crawford has been taking items off the belt without consent. We've invited Senior Officer Rupert Ryan here to elaborate on that matter. Please come up to the stage. Greetings everyone, I'm asked to be here today to discuss Mr. Crawford's case, mainly because I was in charge of his employee survey about a week ago, and something he said there might be able to show you who he is, apart from what he did. So first, about what he did. Mr. Crawford started working as a food inspector from July 30th this year. So far, we have his work records of all 46 days since then. According to the investigation, there's at least one item that went missing from his belt. Well, in other words, he stole one item from work. It doesn't really matter if that's numbers 1 or 100. The same conclusion is he clearly committed the crime of malfeasance. Thank you, Mr. Ryan. What about the other things that you said might show us who he is? It's coming right up, Your Honour. It seems to me Mr. Crawford is not only a criminal, but also one with serious thought problems, and that means he may do things that are way more dangerous than malfeasance. In the survey, he disguised himself as a man who upholds the law. He said he'd report his father immediately if he found out what his father did, but he took violation of the law for granted, just as his father. By that alone, we should have an idea of what kind of person we're dealing with here. That's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for your testimony, Mr. Ryan. I'm just doing my job. Sure, keep up the good work. And you may leave the stage now. Well, I think what Mr. Ryan said should be enough to draw our attention to the defendant's alleged thought crime. Before we bring our next witness, do you have anything to say for yourself, Mr. Crawford? I did take something off the belt, and I'm willing to take responsibility for that. But for the charge of thought crime, I believe we've all said things that we didn't mean, or promises we couldn't keep once in our lives. That shouldn't make us all thought criminals, should it? But I certainly realise the weight of my words now, and I never meant to cover for what my father did. All I said was just my first reaction as a son. Please, just give me another chance to serve you as a food inspector again. That's all. Thank you, Mr. Crawford. I see your point. I know what you're trying to do here, but sadly we do have another witness who can prove to us you're not just a fool who accidentally said something stupid. Let's bring him onto the stage, shall we? Here I call Demian Kolosov. Your Honour, dear judges, I am a Skyline food inspector just like Mr. Crawford, and we were working together during the employee survey here in the government. What I'm about to share is from the conversations we had at that time. Well, I was invited to an employee survey for the first time, so I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know whether I should tell the interviewer everything about myself, so I asked Mr. Crawford how he answered those questions, and he said he didn't answer those questions honestly. And he suggested me not to as well. So when I heard what Mr. Ryan said, I felt the same. This man, Ned Crawford, never took our rules seriously and was just full of lies. Who knows what a man like him would do if we set him free? No, wait. Sorry to interrupt, but I never said those things to Mr. Kolosov. Of course you'd deny, but look at how many of us are sharing the same truth about you. And all you did was deny and deny and deny. What else can I do to a false statement like this? What did they do to you, Demian? Alright, calm down you both. Now you may get down, Mr. Kolosov. Okay. In a situation like this, isn't the best you can do as a defendant is to provide solid evidence? But I suppose you don't have any, do you? Well, we have, and we're showing it to our judges tomorrow. I believe that way they can make a fair judgment for you. More fair than you hope, maybe. With that said, I think it's about time to call it a day. Tomorrow, essential evidence will be provided and the live broadcasting will go on. Dear citizens, please don't forget the Grand Hall is now available for you to get your free food. Court dismissed. Gotta say, Mr. Crawford, not too bad a defence by yourself, but you should know sometimes silence is also an option. See you tomorrow. I had to do this alone. Every word I spoke became their weapon. It doesn't matter what I did anymore, it only matters how they want to put it. I turn around and see Turner standing at the entrance. Don't know when he came. He signals me to follow. Mr. Crawford, please find yourself a seat around here. The trial should start any minute now, as soon as the live broadcasting's ready. Good evening, dear citizens. I think the broadcast just went live now. Sorry for the waiting. Today we'll pretty much conclude the case of Food Inspector Ned Crawford. Some last pieces of evidence that we deem most important will be presented. Without further ado, the defendant please come up to the stage. And also, let's bring our first witness out. Here I call Elodie Corey. Elodie? So, Miss Corey, please introduce yourself. I work at EC Family Restaurant, which is one of the designated restaurants for Skyline workers. Is that enough? How about your relationship with our defendant, Ned Crawford here? We were high school classmates, and I've delivered food to his booth several times in the past month. Good. According to the transcript we have, in the interview you said Mr. Crawford asked you about your spinner. Is that correct? Yes. Why? I think it's just his old interest. A lot of boys found it cool back in high school days. But besides that, didn't he ask you something strange? The sea border? I'll admit that's a bit out of my expectation, but you know, there's nothing much to do or think up there. All we need is the truth. We don't need you to speak for him here. Sorry. So once again, can you confirm that he asked you about those two things in the last few weeks? Yes. Good. I think that's enough for us, Miss Corey. That's all? Staff, please show her out. Ned. Now, Mr. Crawford, do you have anything to say before we move on? Yes, sure. Just like what Miss Corey said, I asked her about spinners only out of my interest in the vehicle. You can ask people that know me in high school. They'll tell you the same. And the sea border? Well, I've been staring at the water around my booth for so long. Guess that question just came up to my mind like that. Well, it's not like we don't know how popular spinners are among you boys. We bought this and the sea border thing up for a reason. It's related to something we found in your booth. What? Shall we welcome our last witness out? Here I call Nastia Lynn. This is all very much the same as before. Officer Lynn is mainly in charge of Skyline Workers' shopping service, but she also has another important task. Why don't you tell us about it? Sure. My other responsibility is to search the booth of any suspects for evidence. That's right. As soon as Mr. Crawford became a suspect, we planned to search and did it while he's here. Now, Officer Lynn, tell us what you found. I found a black bottle. It was clearly smuggled from the outside and it contains some black powder. This dangerous looking black powder is so special that our experts soon managed to identify it to be the bomb material used in Dee's attacks. Well, I thought I didn't leave one this time round, so guess that always happens. Yes, that's what we found, the last piece of the puzzle. Thank you, officer, for this crucial piece of evidence. You may leave now. Dear judges, with that I think everything seems much more clear. Everything our previous witnesses said makes even more sense now. Why would Mr. Crawford commit malfeasance? Why would Mr. Crawford have thought problems? Why would Mr. Crawford ask Miss Corey about spinners and ask sea border? The answer is simple, because he is one of Dee's. All the evidence pointed to the conclusion that he's been helping Dee's the whole time, and he was either planning on small smuggling or planning on escaping Eden after being exposed. And he committed the worst kind of thought crimes, just like his father. He tried to bring chaos and danger to the city. We tried so hard to build and maintain for our people, and he did it after we put our best trust in him. Now, Mr. Crawford, do you have anything to say? Does it matter? Yes, I do. I never took any black bottles. How could you possibly find it? You didn't take, or you haven't passed it to your D's friends yet? Or are you saying that we're making this up? All I can say is I never took them. You said that already. Anything else? No. Good. You can give us your final statement tomorrow. Dear judges, due to the time limit we will stop here today. Tomorrow it should be the end of this entire trial. Your patience is much appreciated. Please get your reward at the Grand Hall. Dismissed. Okay, here we go. So, I did feel there's a slight chance until today. Now I just want this to end quick, and maybe you want the same. Enjoy your last night here, Mr. Crawford. This is going to be the last fight then. Maybe it's not even qualified as a fight. Is this how Dad felt that night? Our final C. When the work's done, I immediately noticed Turner at the same spot as yesterday. I sense this silence between us means somehow there's no use for me to defend no more, is there? Last day, Mr. Crawford. Whatever the result is going to be, good luck. Please take a seat. Dear citizens, good evening. The broadcast is live and we're all set to hear your opinions about the defendant. I hope you're still impressed with the testimonies yesterday like I do. Mr. Crawford, please come forward, and Mr. Cox, you can start discussing with your defendant your final argument now. Without further delay, staff, please get that dice rolling. Citizen number 40, please come forward to the stage. Your Honour and fellow judges, I've got to say I've been furious since I heard what he and the other inspector did. Didn't all the food inspectors vow to protect the interests of people before they even started working? I'm sure they did, and the defendant did. So Mr. Crawford, you broke your vow. Completely. I don't know about the others, but for me, that one thing is enough, and you aren't even sorry for what you did. At least I can't feel it. Thank you. Next. Citizen number 154, please come forward to the stage. Hi. I just want to say I still remember the day I heard about what the defendant's father did. That day I just got recovered from severe starvation, and it was caused by nothing else than the flooding in of population. I was too weak to stop people from robbing my food. What saved me back then were the walls the government built and the orders the government established, so I was shocked to see someone trying to break them after all that happened. If the defendant got that from his father, he must go to jail, because I'm not returning to that time, not ever. Thank you. Next. Citizen number 42, please come forward to the stage. Everybody, I hope you didn't forget what we say today is going to be heard by the entire city. There's no reason not to speak out our anger and our disappointment. Can't you see? This man is a liar, a hypocrite, and an enemy of us. When people are dying of hunger on the street, this man is eating good food up in the sky. And he's not even satisfied. He's even going to take more from us. I bet he already forgot what it's like to live down here on the ground. The two most important things in our lives in Eden, trust and rules. He spit on them both. So I say, let's punish him for that. Make him pay. Make him pay. Make him pay. Getting really into this now. What an ending, judges. I believe you all made the message very clear. Mr. Crawford, it's your turn now. I'm sorry for the things I took. You're right, I should have known better as a civilian myself and as a food inspector who took a vow. But please believe me, I'm not with D's or any terrorist groups. I beg you to consider giving me a second chance. I'll do anything to make it up, that's all. It's interesting how you said in the survey you would give up your father for a second chance, and now this. If you're naive like that, prison might be a good thing for you. It's interesting how you said in the survey you won't give other lawbreakers a second chance, and now this. Which one of you should we trust? Maybe neither. Okay then, all we have to do is left to do is the voting. Firstly, the obvious one, guilty or not guilty. Pretty sure I'm not guilty. Oh. Well, that's pretty definitive. And guilty it is. Doesn't feel the same when you yourself are standing there, does it? Let's move on to the next. For what the defendant did has been charged with. 2 possible options are decided based on Eden law. One is immediate dismissal, which also includes a permanent ban on future application for any government positions and a compulsory educational program. The other is 10 years of imprisonment, where he'll be taught how to be a qualified citizen as well. Now please make your choice. Harrowing. Time's up, and there we have it, our final verdict. No surprises. My dear citizens and everyone that's watching or listening to us elsewhere, here I announce, by the decision of the majority of our anonymous judges, Ned Crawford is now sentenced to 10 years of imprisonment. The defendant should report to the prison after he collected all his belongings in the skyline. An officer will be assigned to ensure the execution. Case closed. It's been some time since you last came outdoors, isn't it? The air is not so good today, so please don't inhale too hard. I'm sorry about the result, Mr. Crawford. I don't know if telling you this would help, but living in a prison is not that different from living in a booth, if you think about it. Conditions are much worse, though. The car is just outside the gates. Please follow. Is this it? All the hard work I put in, all the dreams I had, a gloomy day just right for the bad end. Wait, there's a spinner there. And it's turned on. Maybe this is my last chance. It's now or never. What should I do? Try to fly away with that spinner or give up? I run towards the spinner with every strength that's left in me. I hop on the seat. I find the ignite button and smash it. But it fails. There is a line of message in red rolling on the navigation screen. Registered driver weight test failed. Simulation over. Ah. Well, thanks very much for watching, guys. See you soon.